Hey everybody, welcome to the 146th Guitar Q&A live stream brought to you by SongBike. That's right, the SongBike Guitar Q&A live stream, August 1st, 2026. I hope you guys had a great week. Hot, humid here, probably about the same where you are. Gonna have a great show tonight. I'm gonna say a few hellos. Stephen, Matt, Randy, Chaz, how are you guys? Lots to do today. We're gonna start very quickly very soon with a WTF, a weekly teaching feature, and then we're going to get into our 3 play-along songs. A lot to talk about, including a poll question. Here comes the poll question. Simple question, and the question is, oh, you know what? I'm going to save us all time and do a little copying pasting. The poll question that I'm going to post right here. Now that we've done dozens and dozens and dozens of these play-along songs, it's about time that I ask you, copy. All right. Can you confidently play one of those songs? Now, remember, I cannot see your answers. So if you, after all this time, have not focused on playing one of those songs, I won't ever know about it if you're the person who votes this way. Okay. The question is, can you confidently play one of our previous play-along songs? Any of them. We've done a whole bunch. I am just curious. Okay, answers include, yes, I can confidently play one of them or more. Nope, I can't do it yet. My skills aren't there yet. Or option 3, just haven't tried. That's maybe not your focus. Maybe you're busy doing something else. Blues, lead guitar, soloing, improvising, and playing a specific song, strumming the chords all the way through just has not been your priority. Hey, you do you, man. But that's the poll question of the night. Other things we're going to talk about tonight. The Gen Alpha melody. What does that mean? We're going to talk about the Gen Alpha melody. We have the Lemony Picket Blues warm-up. What a dumb name, but it makes me happy. The Lemony Picket Blues warm-up. We're bringing that back from a previous live stream. We're going to talk about that. A great blues finger exercise. Student quote of the week. Got a great student quote of the week. Like I said, 3 play-along songs. Hopefully you remember which 3 they are, and you've been working on at least 1 or 2 of them since last time. The 3 play-along songs include Cinnamon Girl by Neil Young. You're going to have to do drop D tuning for that song. We'll talk about that. Baba O'Reilly from The Who, and bluegrass classic Salty Dog. So we got all those things coming up. What else? We got the poll question. Pedro Pascal. Got to get to Pedro Pascal. I forgot to get to him last week. We're going to get to him this week. Pedro. Just an interesting quote from Hollywood actor Pedro Pascal. So that's what's on my agenda. That covers most of what's on my agenda, I think. And don't worry, I'm going to give you a heads up as to the 3 songs we're going to do next Saturday. So you can prepare this week. You get the idea. All right. You ready to jump in and do something? Yeah, let's do it. The Lean On Me challenge. If you're ready, I'm ready. There we go. There it is right there. That's what we got. Boom, 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 and boom. Okay, you got a guitar handy? I sure hope you do. You got a pick handy? This is going to be a picking challenge. Very soon, your screen will be full of the Lean On Me challenge. Lean On Me, of course, the classic song written by Bill Withers. And my little creative teaching mind thought, hey, let's take this classic intro and turn it into something that'll make you a better guitar player. So we have, as you can see, 3 different versions here. We have the beginner version. Easy peasy, right? I just played line 1. Now, and then it goes on to line 2, but 1 note at a time, 1 string. If there's any challenge, deciding which finger to use. Highly recommend using your index finger on the 1, jumping up to the middle finger for the 3rd fret, ring on 5, pinky on 6. That way you get to use each one of your fingers, right? Easy peasy. If that feels really easy, you have graduated from level 1. If that's not exactly easy for you, playing the whole thing with the right feeling, right? You have to channel the rhythmic feeling of the tune. If that is not exactly easy for you, there you go. There's your challenge. Okay. Level A. By the way, the second line, almost identical to the first line. Except the ending here. Open 1 ends differently than the first line, right? Everyone recognizes that, right? The melody, the heart of Lean on Me by Bill Withers. Okay. Take a look at section B, the intermediate section. What's happening here? Ooh, good news, bad news. Which one do you want first? Good news or bad news? Let's just get the bad news out of the way. It's harder, right? You got to use your brain a lot more than the first way. The good news, it sounds so much better because why? Harmony. Where's that last one? I should read my own writing here. 6 and 5. And then back down. Sounds a million times better, right? A million times. If there's any trick to letter B, the intermediate version, other than practice, 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 start with your index finger, first fret on the B string. When it moves to that 3-2 combination, please put your ring finger, second string, 3rd fret, middle finger, 3rd string, 2nd fret. Okay? Ring finger and middle finger. Now, as soon as you successfully grab those 2 strings with your ring and middle, remember the ring is on the 2nd skinny string, middle is on the 3rd skinny string. As soon as you grab that, success awaits. Victory is yours because you're just going to play that combination 2 frets higher. That's the 5-4, and 1 fret higher. That's the 6-5. See how my middle and ring just stayed in place? So your success all relies on that initial grab of that, I'm going to call it the 3-2 combination. Okay? You grab that, all of a sudden letter B here, the intermediate version, is a lot easier. Sounds so nice. Here's the end of the intermediate section. Watch out. Open strings. See where I am? I'm at the end of line 4. 2 open strings. It's like a reward. 0, 0, 1, 0. And you're going to get the same reward at the end of the advanced version too. Okay, so I'm going to pause. In a minute, I'm going to zoom in and make this bigger because for the advanced version, it really, reading it is half the battle. Any questions so far, though, about the beginner version on 1 string, 1 note at a time? Oh, here's a question that someone should ask me. Can't believe no one's asked me this question yet. What does it mean that the numbers are in parentheses? What does that mean? You do not play the notes in parentheses. It just means the note you previously played is still ringing, okay? Hey, Kevin, thanks for joining us. So ignore the notes in parentheses. You might say, okay, Big Shot, then why are they even there if we're all going to just ignore them? It's a convention. It's a formality. The software that I use to create this PDF does not allow me to omit that note. So, but it's instead of thinking of it as an annoying little thing, hey, that's how real music looks. I mean, that's what happens. See that little smiley rainbow symbol that connects the 6 of the first measure, the first line, to the 6 in parentheses in the second measure, little thing? That's called a tie. And you don't play the note at the end of the tie, but it's a reflection of the fact that the note at the beginning of the tie is still ringing. 1, 1, 3, 5, 6, let it ring. And then, okay. Hey, John, checking in. John, what are you doing out there in MN? Oh, your daughter's out there, right? Excellent. Good to see that you're joining us, John. So do not play the notes in the parentheses. Okay, you ready to do the advanced version? Now, some of you might be challenged enough on the previous versions. That's great. Excellent. That means I'm doing my job right. But I'm going to make this a little bit bigger. Here it comes. Stand by. I know it's huge. Is that too big? Nobody ever complains that things are too big. It's okay if, I mean, you can let me know if, like, for God's sake, man, do you think we're blind? So if that's too big, you know, we can make it smaller. Kevin, I see your question. Kevin saying, how do you play it cleanly? Go slowly. That's the answer, or that's part of the answer, if not the ultimate answer to everything. Everything. Just go slowly. The problem is, we've heard this song a million times, right? It's Lean On Me. We all know how fast it's supposed to go. So that it's more than tempting to push yourself to go that speed, whether or not you're ready to or not. It's extremely humbling. It takes a lot of discipline to, for the moment, set the song aside and just work on getting clear notes, you know? So go slowly. Short fingernails, right? To the best of your ability, keep your hands in sync with each other. No sense in plucking with your pick until if your fretting hand is not ready, right? I would predict that the challenge for many people are the 5 and 6, the 5th fret and 6th fret notes being played by your 2 weak fingers, right? Yeah, you know, but that's why we're doing this. Remember, this is called the Lean On Me Challenge. It's not called, you know, here's how to play Lean On Me tomorrow morning at breakfast, right? It's a challenge where, you know, one thing I like to do as a teacher, one thing I love to do as a teacher is to find a song that makes you a better guitar player. Or another way to put it, take any song and focus in on the skills that song develops, you know? So by working on that song, you become a better guitar player. In this case, we're isolating this specific melodic part of the song, what I would call the heart of the song. We're isolating that. Okay, it's a great question though, Kevin. So the advanced version, 3 notes, right? 3 notes at the same time. Your right hand, your pick, has to be very deliberate, very specific. Some of you are going to be tempted to put down your pick and use your thumb, index, and middle and pluck this stuff. I get it. That's not a crazy idea in terms of achieving success. It's a workaround. You know, instead of being very careful with your pick, it's a lot easier to be precise with your bare fingers. But remember, this is not a test. This is more of a left-hand test than a right-hand test. So this is not about how successfully you can pick the song. At least that's not the #1 priority. It's really more of a fretting hand thing. So it's worth it. It's worth it. Keep using a pick. Don't give up on the pick and revert to fingers. Trust me, the picking is not what needs to be mastered in this song to make you a better guitar player directly. It's the problem solving that your left hand has to do. Okay, so for the first chord, by the way, that's labeled C/E. It's a C chord with E as the low note. Don't get hung up on the names, okay? But in case you're curious, that's what this stuff means. Okay, I'm using my index and middle, kind of common sense. It's what I'd be doing if I were doing a C chord anyways. Now what I highly recommend for that 3-2-3, ring finger, 3 on the D string, just ahead of where the middle finger is. Pinky, which was doing nothing anyways, 3 on the B string. It was probably hovering right around there anyways. And now your middle finger has to smoothly hop over to 2 on the G string. Now, for many of you, that's not going to be an intuitive grip. We're not using your smartest finger. I get it. But take a minute. I would say the two main challenges of this advanced version. Number one challenge is getting used to that grip, switching from the first chord to the second chord. There's one more challenge that's coming up in a second. The third chord, 5-4-5, same thing, just move your hand up 2 frets. First chord, second, third, and the next chord is the next big challenge of the song. But I would still say there's only 2 challenges, and the first one is at 3-2-3. Okay, how are you guys doing on that 3-2-3 with a middle, ring, and pinky? I mean, out of context, it's no big deal, right? It's getting there quickly and getting 3 good sounds. Okay, now the 6-5-7 coming up. What a pain in the butt! But there is one bit of advice I have for you. It's a pain in the butt only because it's unlike the first 2 chords. Okay, here's my advice. Assuming that your 5-4-5 is being accomplished with your ring, middle, and pinky, and assuming that your ring fingers, where I told you, on the D string, now it's on the D string 5, you're going to use your ring finger as the means of getting to this 6-5-7 chord. It's got to lightly slide up to 7 on the D string. It was at 5 on the D string. It's got to lightly slide up to 7. Your success doing that means everything, because then you can get your index and middle down where they need to go. Index finger 5 on the 3rd string, middle finger 6 on the 2nd string. Not easy, not easy, especially the transition. However many times you can stand to do this. Another variable is how quickly you can memorize it. It's worth it. It makes you a better guitar player, and plus it makes the whole song sound so much better. Remember, we started off with that, right? And now we're and so on. Yeah, Kevin, you're asking a good question. In terms of reading this stuff, the numbers represent the frets we're on, or the frets we want to squeeze. Nowhere on this whole PDF, nowhere does it tell you which fingers to use. Sometimes people get confused and think, well, the numbers, like 1 means your number 1 finger, 2 means your number 2 finger. Sometimes, coincidentally, that you do play the number 1 fret with your number 1 finger, but that's a happy coincidence. So the numbers tell you what fret to press down on, right? Lines are strings, numbers are frets, but nowhere does it tell you which fingers to use, and that's where I come in. Sounds so good. Take a look at the ending. I know my little thumbnail, my little smiling face might make it hard to see the very ending. Hold on, I'm going to shrink this down a little bit. There we go. I'm on the bottom line. The second to last chord, 0-0-0. Officially, that's a G chord with D as the low note. And we end on essentially that little bite-sized C chord. Don't get hung up on the names. Every once in a while I have, and it tends to be very intelligent students. I mean, all my students are intelligent, but it's a certain type of intelligence who gets very hung up on names of stuff to the point where the physical progress grinds to a halt and there's a big discussion of the names of everything. And I get it, but in some cases, and I would say this is one of them, in some cases, the names and our understanding of the names does not directly help with the execution whatsoever. So whatever you do not get hung up on the names of any of this stuff. Sometimes the names are helpful. Sometimes they're not directly helpful. You could understand everything about the music theory and the names and all that stuff, and this still would be an advanced challenge in my book, you know. Okay, the PDF that you are looking at, I'm going to zoom out now. The PDF is, of course, available at my website, song-bike.com. SongBike.com, and I call this, there it is, the Lean On Me Challenge. By the way, we have well over 100, I think we're approaching 200 PDFs, both sort of exercise things like this and songs, actually how to play specific songs, all sorts of stuff at my website. I encourage you to become a member, song-bike.com, $10 a month, and you get access to all this stuff. Okay, questions. Randy's pointing out a good thing. Don't grip too hard, right? Squeezing with your left hand, or with a pick as well, you know what I mean? A light touch. There's probably a life metaphor in there somewhere. Tread lightly, live with a light touch. It certainly will make you a better musician for sure, right? A light grip on the pick, a light touch with your fretting hand. There are times when you do have to squeeze the pick a little bit harder. We'll talk about that when we do when we do Salty Dog for sure. One of our 3 play-along songs tonight. But squeezing the pick tightly, that comes easily to everybody. It's having a light grip that, we all need to be reminded, lighten up. And same thing with our fretting hand. Squeezing hard, we all realized pretty quickly on, if not day 1, day 2 on the guitar, you got to squeeze to get nice clear notes. And as the weeks and months and years go by, many of us keep squeezing. I played the guitar, I'm going to say ballpark 20 years. 20 years. And I took a lesson from a guy, and that was the first time, after playing guitar for 20 years, that anyone ever mentioned to me that many of us, including me, squeeze the strings harder than we have to. It never occurred to me, never heard anyone bring that up as a topic of discussion. So here I am telling you about it, passing on the wisdom. Okay, questions, comments? We're about done talking about this. I'm good if you're good. Love it. I love stuff like this. Take a famous song, break it down a few different ways, and believe me, you can get musical satisfaction from any of those 3 methods of playing that song, and that's what it's about, right? Playing something all the way through and saying, God, that sounded pretty good, In the case of that one, if the beginning version sounds good in your ear, you can move on to the second one and the third one and so on. Okay, hey, I mentioned something, and let's get right into it. You can relax for a moment because you're about to listen a little bit. And okay, I heard a thing actually just this morning on the radio. I thought, oh, very interesting, on National Public Radio. So we're just going to play it. It's just a couple minutes. I was paying attention because it was a musicologist essentially talking about musical sound that shows up in a lot of songs and has been around for a long time. And I love stuff like that. And I was, paying 75% attention. And then at the very end, they played a song that I knew that was an illustration of the topic. I thought, wait a minute, then it kind of hit home. I didn't recognize the examples they were using previously. You'll see what I mean. But when they played this one, I thought, wait, I do recognize that. Okay, so I think you'll get a kick out of this. This is from National Public Radio. This is the Gen Alpha Melody. Nothing to look at here. Mostly you're just going to be listening to this, but I think you'll get a kick out of this, especially you songwriters. And wait to hear the tune they use at the end. That is one somewhat older example of what we're talking about. Here it comes.
Songwriters beware. There is one melody taking over pop music these days, whether intentional or not. Danish musicologist Carl E. Martin calls it the Gen Alpha Melody.
What constitutes the Gen Alpha melody is therefore that these 4 notes are the pillars of the melody, which means all other tones revolve around these because they're landing on strong beats or the melodic phrase ends on them.
Martin first noticed the pattern while listening to pop songs from around the world. Then he started collecting examples for a YouTube video. Once he plays them back to back, it's hard not to hear.
Nobody said that it would last forever. That doesn't mean we didn't try. You'll get there. Give me a call if you ever get lonely. I'll be like one of your friends when you hold me. I think we could do it if we tried. If only to say you're mine.
That was Louis Capaldi, Troye Sivan, and Clairo.
And there are a ton more examples that Martin lays out. They span genres and countries and decades.
But given the amount of examples he found within the past few years, Martin's giving this one to Gen Alpha.
After all, it's their turn. Remember the millennial whoop?
There are plenty of YouTube video essays about that too, but Martin says that is just a vocal pattern. The Gen Alpha melody, he argues, is something more specific.
If I was the musicologist in like a courtroom and had to compare two songs that were using the millennial whoop, I wouldn't attribute or like sue one song for using that, because it's just like a trope that you can use, or like a vocal technique, I'd say. Whereas if the Gen Alpha melody only had two examples and you had to compare those two, I would say that the people suing the other song would win the case, because it is a very specific melody being copied.
And it's not just millennials versus Gen Alpha. Martin and his YouTube viewers keep finding more generational examples, with the oldest dating back to the 19th century.
Pretty safely into public domain rights by now.
Very safely. Martin's research on the Gen Alpha melody started as a side project when he finished his master's thesis on the music of Nordic movies at the University of Copenhagen.
Because like a question us Scandinavians has been asking a lot is, what's our like sound? What's the sound of the Nordic countries? And most of the answers just go to, it's ABBA, or it's like Lucas Graham or something like that. But, there's a lot of like folk music and a lot of traditional music as well.
Spending months searching for recurring musical ideas may have helped him recognize one hiding in plain sight.
And even though it's popping up everywhere, Martin says he still loves hearing it.
Like every time I hear a new example, I get super excited.
Now that you've heard the Gen Alpha melody, don't be surprised if you start hearing it everywhere too.
It's only love, and that is all. Why should I feel the way I do?
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Louise.
All right. What do you think? Kind of fun, right? Kind of fun. So when I heard the Beatles song called It's Only Love, that's when I thought, oh, wait, I've heard that before. All right. Maybe a little bit of a deep cut for casual Beatles fans. In case you're curious, though, especially you songwriters out there, we could talk about It's Only Love for 1 second. It's Only Love is in the key of C. And that example he used going in the chorus of the tune, it's coming out of the A minor chord. And the twist here, It's Only Love, we're in the key of C again. It's the B flat chord, also known as the flat 7 chord in the key of C. So if you wanted to be the next person to write a song using this Gen Alpha melody, your song should, if you're in the key of C, from A minor, It's Only Love, they're singing the note F during a B flat chord. So far, your song, A minor to B flat. Now, I'm not saying you should sing exactly what the Beatles sing, but that's what's going on here. A minor to B flat. By the way, one measure of each chord. So A minor to It's Only, here's the B flat, and that is G. All why I should C. So now we're back to the 1 chord, the way I do. So far, the way I do is coming back to the A minor chord. So far we have A minor for 4. It's only, here's a B flat for 4, G for 4, C for 4. If those of you keeping track, that's a 6 to a flat 7 to a 5 to a 1. The way I do, there's the A minor. It's only love. There's the B flat again. That is G. That is all. But it's so F. Loving you is G. So the second half of the tune of this thing, A minor, B flat, G, F, G. 4 counts in each one of those chords. Okay, a little toy for you guys to play with, those of you songwriter people. I realized that I just threw a whole bunch of information at you. But that was my second thought was, well, what are the background chords? because to me, that's not just to me, but chords are what holds everything together, right? That's the structure. And they didn't get that into that in this piece, because I'm sure that's beyond the scope of what they intended to do. But people like you and me, we want to know that. What are those chords, So now you know what I know. Okay, speaking of songs, I think now would be a great time to get into our first play-along song of the night. Let's do it. Cinnamon Girl from Neil Young. What do we need? I'll tell you. We need to tune your sixth string, your fat string, down to D. And I'm happy to help, but you might not need me to. Okay, there it is on the screen. This goes way back. We did this once before. Live stream 32. Reminder, today is live stream 146. So this is a while ago. I'm going to scooch this up a little bit. Okay. You guys know I go to great pains to try to get everything onto one page. And in a minute, I'm going to make what you're looking at a little bit bigger. Okay, but let's get your sixth string loosened down to D. You're going to be loosening the sixth string. Make sure you turn it in what I would call the clockwise direction. I'm going to use my fourth string D as a reference point. By the way, for those of you who are into like visual stuff, I would say I turn my tuner about a 1/4 turn. Say if your starting point was a 12 o'clock position, I turn to the 3 o'clock position. That's not how you tune a guitar, but just to give you a ballpark reference, you don't want to turn it a whole lot more than that. Now to my ear, that sounds pretty good. And I'm going to use my tuner just to double check. Pretty darn close. While it's on, I'm going to check the other strings, not just because I worry, but I have a little concern that anytime I change one string, I'm changing the tension on the neck of the instrument. And that it's just possible that any other string might go a little bit out of tune because of what I did to that one string. So it never hurts to do a double check. Okay, so what we're about to do, 100%, well, yeah, 100% relies on you tuning your fat string down to D. We haven't done too many songs with this drop D tuning. This one's worth it. Okay, so like I said, I'm going to make this bigger because I realized how small it is. Okay. All right. The first line, the intro riff, one finger on 5. You could even use the same finger on the 7s. I'm just clamping down 5th fret with my first finger. You could call this a call and response. Here's the response. That 3-3, I definitely recommend clamping down with your index finger for those 2 notes in the bass string. For the 5-5, I just reach up with my ring finger. Could you do the same in the beginning? You could index on the 5s in the very beginning, and then right away, ring finger on the 7s. Personal preference. Okay, that riff happens 4 times, not only in the beginning, but it's used as a buffer, so to speak, an interlude, so to speak, throughout the tune, and it's always 4 times. And so I'm going to do it 4 times. I know it's going to get pretty redundant and it's going to get stuck in your head, but that's how the song goes. When the words come in, D, A minor, C to G. I wanna live with a cinnamon girl. I could be happy the rest of my life. G, middle ring and pinky, like I always recommend, because we're coming from a C chord. It's the most efficient way to finger G. In terms of the exact strumming, got a little bit of a little bit of freedom in exactly how you strum it. What I have indicated there suggests 4 strums per chord. Boring, but it works. A little more interesting, you could use Old Faithful, down, down, up, down, 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 up, down. It works. It works for this song. I can't promise you Neil Young is doing that, but it works. You know, you could do 8 quick downstrokes. I wanna live with a cinnamon girl. 8 downstrokes per chord. Just make them kind of fast, right? Ooh, see under the G chord, that stack of numbers. I'm looking at line 2, the G chord. See how the bottom number 3 is in parentheses? You know why that's in parentheses? You really shouldn't strum that string. It's okay to grab the G chord the way you always do. Remember, we retuned our fat 6 string. That note is not a good note. You don't want to strum that. But I actually encourage you to grab the G chord the way you'd normally grab a G chord, meaning fret the 6th string, just don't strum the 6th string. Because, I mean, it gets a cool bluesy, low sound, but we don't want that, In this particular case, though, many of us are so good at grabbing G, just grab it. You don't want to slow down the momentum of the song, but just make sure your pick doesn't hit it. I think that's a great, great solution. Okay, now what's that, line 3? Cinnamon Girl. Right on that line of Cinnamon Girl, we're sort of moving back into rock and roll territory from the folky strumming territory we're just in. Ah, so cool. Okay, the first half, we're back to these essentially power chords. Index finger, just squeezing those 2 fat strings at 3. Ring finger, same strings at 5. See that 0, 0, 0, those 3? It's really important you get 3 strings. We want that higher note in there. Okay. Now, while you're strumming the 0, 0, 0, your fretting hand can and should be moving up into position for that 5, 7 business. Because that's, a little bit of a jump. So you take advantage of the open strings to get up to that, 5th position, right? Index just grabbing those 2 notes. A lot of barring in this song, or really partial barring, to be fair. Now, what comes after that is based on an A minor chord. So we're back into that strummy folk kind of territory. But isn't that Neil Young in a nutshell, right? A combination of folky stuff and just pure rock and roll. Okay, during this A minor section at the end of line 3, grab your A minor chord. You're going to maintain that A minor chord the whole time. You're just going to lift off 1 finger to get 1 certain note. That's okay, but don't let go of those fingers, because the whole measure is an A minor riff, Notice, no skinny string when you strum that A minor. You know where I am, right? Line 3, the second half of line 3. Downstroke, but I'm not including either the fat or the skinny E strings. Upstroke on the open 2nd string. Just lift your index finger off, put it back down. 3rd string, 2nd fret, which is an inherent part of the A minor chord. Extra credit if you can go down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Oh, it sounds so good. Followed by a little gap, and then a basic up-down on an A minor chord, where you are allowed to hit the open string. I'm going to slow down that measure. Down, up, down, up, down. That section, the verse section here that began with the D major chord, that whole section always happens twice. Okay? So the intro riff at the top of the page happens 4 times. Every time it shows up, and it shows up multiple times, happens 4 times. Intro riff always happens, the verse always happens 2 times. They alternate back and forth until at, what did I say, about 1 minute and 50 seconds, 150, about 1 minute and 50 seconds, I believe, into the tune. We have the bridge. Pa, send me money now, I'm gonna make it somehow, I need another chance. You see, your baby loves to dance, yeah. Again, I'm gonna focus a little bit on the left hand because you got a little bit of freedom with the right hand strumming. Okay, a C chord for 3 long measures, 4 beats per measure. So grab your C major chord. Pa, send me money now, I'm gonna make it somehow, I need another. G minor, I illustrated at the top of the page, which you cannot see right now, but here's what you would see. Just take really any finger. I'm gonna use my pointer finger. 3rd fret, 1st string, 2nd string, 3rd string. Leave the 4th string open. You can include that note as an open string. It's a G minor chord. It's a cute, easy G minor chord. Is this exactly how Neil Young does it? I don't know. Ask him, man. What are you asking me for? But it's so easy and it works so well. Chance, you see, your baby loves to, and then just easy A minor. Dance, yeah. Okay, so here's the recipe for success. Number 1, memorize what a G minor chord is. Number 2, be thinking about that G minor during all those C's. Money now, gonna make it somehow, I need another chance. I've seen it a million times if I've seen it once. Someone's rocking out on a certain chord and they're not thinking about the future, right? You got to think about the future. You don't want that G minor chord to come up as some big surprise, you know? Okay, now you're done. You're done. At the very end, see, this says in brackets at the very end of the tune, after the lyrics, it says solo dash verse. The way the song ends is Neil Young rocks out with a guitar solo. In the background, it's just the verse chords and even the second part of the verse, even that part. He just rocks out over that. That's the whole tune. That's the structure of the tune. Now, I realize what's in front of you right there is the ingredients without being super specific about exactly what goes where. I get it. So let me just tell you right now. Intro riff 4 times, verse 2 times. Intro riff 4 times, verse 2 times. Sense a pattern here? Yeah. I'm getting my lyrics because we're going to start this up in a second. I believe that what I just said, that's the whole tune. Intro riff 4 times, 2 verses. Intro riff 4 times, 2 verses. Intro riff again, bridge, and then the guitar solo out over the verse chord changes. Okay? Let's do it. I'm ready if you're ready. I want to live. Okay. Any questions before we start? Don't be shy. Now is the time. I'm telling myself to go a little bit slower than the real song. I get excited and I speed things up. Well, I get excited and I think about playing the song, you know, the way Neil Young plays the song. But let's take it slower, shall we? Don't forget, you tune down, right? Got that drop D. All right. What could go wrong? I'll see you on the other side. Intro riff 4 times. 1, 2, 3, 4. I could be happy the rest of my life with the same girl. Turn my pictures I run in the night. You see us together, chasing the moonlight, my cinnamon girl. And then second verse. 10 silver sacks is a bass with a bow. The drummer relaxes and waits between shows for the cinnamon girl. A dreamer of pictures I run in the night. You see us together, chasing the moonlight, my cinnamon girl. One more time. Here's the bridge. Pa, send me money now. I need to make it somehow. I need another chance. You see, your baby loves to dance. Yeah, yeah. First now, here we go. Verse again. Now, some of you Neil Young fans know that at that point, he does a very cool cadenza. Is that the right name? For when someone goes nuts at the end of a song? Like a solo, like there's no other instruments, just Neil Young going, and I actually have that written out. It's not hard on paper, but it sounds so great. You Neil Young fans know what I'm talking about, right? Very cool. Okay, how'd you do? What do you think? Again, this PDF will be uploaded to my website shortly. Even though we did this song months and months and months ago, it was handwritten. It was okay. This is just much, I'd rather have a copy that looks like this than a handwritten kind of copy. You guys do okay with that? You survived? Yeah? Okay. Could have stopped doing that. 2 more play-along songs coming up, so don't go anywhere. I'm going to shuffle my papers here. Pedro Pascal. Why not? Now is as good a time as any to share with you my knowledge of Mr. Pascal. Okay, what am I talking about? Let's see if I can throw this up here. Boom. And famed actor. I say that like I know. I have no idea. Pedro Pascal, successful actor. How about that? Successful actor. He is in a movie that's coming up soon. I don't know. What do I know about Hollywood? But I like this quote. Stand by, stand by. Okay, okay. There we go. Can you see that okay? You now know as much as I do. There's a movie coming out called Behemoth, where Pedro Pascal plays a famous musician. I don't know. But look at his quote there. Being in a gladiator arena or hanging from a harness, he says, that stuff pales in comparison to learning how to play the cello. This comes from an Instagram page I like a lot called Classic FM. And imagine just having to learn the cello, for a movie, even to be tasked with having to look like you know what you're doing on any instrument. That's hard enough, without having to actually play it. Now, I don't know anything about this any more than you do now, but just interesting that, yeah, man, actors get asked to do lots of stuff, but to play a musical instrument, hey, that's why I'm sharing this with you. Everyone agrees it's hard, man. All this stuff is hard, any instrument, right? That's a little bit of perspective on music from Pedro Pascal. And some of you, for all I know, this is, you guys know way more about this movie than I do. But I want to share that with you. A little Pedro Pascal moment. Music is tough. I have a little pin, like a pin that you put on your coat with a little, needle, whatever you call that, little pin to keep it in place. And the pin just says, music is tough. I found that pin somewhere when I was about 12 years old. And somehow all these years later, I still have that pin. Music is tough. Check, check, check. Check. Student quote of the week. Do I have one? I sure do. I went on vacation. Don't have it handy. I went on vacation. I brought a kind of a beater guitar, a beach guitar on vacation with me. Perfectly okay instrument, probably an instrument that didn't sell for more than $250 tops. And now it's worth a lot less for one big reason. Someone put stickers on it, and the stickers came off okay. But when I got the stickers off the guitar had aged, but still looked new and light colored under the stickers. It's kind of weird. Guitars in general darken over time. I mean, acoustic guitars tend to darken over time, but apparently these are magic stickers that kept the guitar from darkening. Instrument doesn't look so good, but it sounds like a basic laminate, plywood guitar. It's okay, it's kind of vacation guitar. So I was telling one of my students that I didn't have any concerns about that guitar getting stolen on vacation because it's not worth a whole lot of money. It was, someone just gave it to me to find a new home for it. And, I said, in fact, if the person, whoever stole it, I'd be like, hey, practice every day. He said, this is the student quote of the week. He said, yeah, you should have put some of your business cards on the inside. Boom, chick. Yeah, nothing wrong with having an inexpensive guitar for just the right occasion, little lightweight chipboard case. You guys know chipboard, right? It's like glorified cardboard that they just cover with black vinyl, and it's okay. It did the job, man. But it was great having a guitar on vacation, and it did not get stolen. But I liked that. And that's why there's a student quote of the week. Put some business cards in there. Maybe whoever steals it might need some lessons. They might, too funny. Check, check, check. Hey, don't forget to vote in our poll question. After all this time, have you mastered essentially one of our play-along songs? We've done dozens and dozens and dozens and dozens of play-along songs. I'm hoping that one of them connected with you, especially you long-time song bikers, and you thought, you know what, I can do that. Remember, in my mind, one of the goals is to play along with the original. Doesn't get better than that, although equally good is playing it with other people or performing it yourself, whatever works for you. So don't forget to vote in the poll. And just to check in with the results, 62% of you say yes, you can confidently play along with one of our previous play along songs. 14% say nope, not yet. And 23 say I haven't tried. And I get 24% say I haven't tried, which I get. Maybe you've been focusing on something else instead. I get that. Hey, Chaz, thank you for your super chat. And that reminds me, super chat donations are how you can support this live stream. Click on that little $sign, and it's easy after that. So thank you, Chaz. I appreciate that. Also, hey, don't forget to give this live stream a thumbs up. A bunch of you have already. Doesn't cost anything. Why not? Okay. I always like to say thank you for watching, to you guys, for being here live and in the moment. And also for those of you who can't make it on a Saturday, but maybe you watch on Sunday or Monday, Tuesday, thank you guys for watching after the fact as well. I like checking on the numbers and see how these live streams are doing. Oh, I know. How could I forget? No show next Saturday. Sorry, no show next Saturday. I'm going to be playing with Clay. We got another gig back at the brewery again. I'm 50-50 whether or not I'll live stream it. It depends. I got to get over there in the days prior and make sure my camera links up with their Wi-Fi. If I have time to do that, I will live stream it. If I don't have time to do it, I won't live stream. Sorry to leave you in the dark. For sure, this live stream will not happen next Saturday. If you want to know, I believe it's 6 to 8, the show. Ooh, 5 to 8. 5 to 8, we got to play for 3 hours. Holy cow. So the gig is the same time as this live stream plus 1 more hour. Hey, CLS Create checking in from New Jersey. Hello. So maybe I'll live stream it. I'm sorry to leave you in the dark. I just, it's all a matter of finding the time to make sure the Wi-Fi connects with the camera okay. But no live stream next Saturday. So I'll see you on the 15th. Okay. Oh, by the way, now's a good reminder. Follow me on social media, Facebook or Instagram. Just do a search for the term SongBike. You'll find me. If you follow me on either one of those platforms, that's where I put out reminders of stuff like, yes, there will be a live stream. No, there won't be a live stream and stuff like that. All right. Checking off a bunch of stuff. Let's do our second of 2 weekly teaching features. And this one is of cool blues warm-up with a ridiculous name, the Lemony Picket, the Lemony Picket blues warm-up. Come on, where is it here? And I can explain the dumb name while I pull this up. The dumb name comes from the Lemon song from Led Zeppelin. And Picket, Lemony Picket, is a play on words from Lemony Snicket. Anybody have kids who read the Lemony Snicket books? I know, it's ridiculous. There we go. Okay, this will be populating your screen in 1 moment. Boom, boom. Our second weekly teaching feature of the night. A great workout, especially for your fretting hand. I will play it, and then you'll probably recognize, those of you who are the Led Zeppelin fans, you'll probably recognize why I use the word lemon in the title. Recognize that? What's going on here? First of all, those things that look like percentage signs, that just means repeat the thing you just did. So that first riff happens 4 times in a row. That's all. This means repeat the previous measure. Okay. Middle finger. There's one key to success. It's using your middle finger on the 7th fret on the A string. Middle finger. Index on the 6 on the next string. Middle finger on the 7. Ring on the 8. Pinky on the 9. Don't worry, I'm going to go over that. But you end up using all 4 fingers with a cool bluesy Led Zeppelin riff. At the moment, I'm doing all downstrokes. You could do down ups. I'll leave that up to you at the moment because that's not the number one reason why we're doing this. But sure, down up picking. I mean, any excuse you have to do down up, down up, down up, down up, down up picking, alternate picking can get your picking hand can get pretty fast, pretty quickly, and then your fretting hand has to hustle to keep up, which is great. But you may or may not want that exact challenge. So I'm gonna go easy on you for your picking for this one. You could do all downstrokes. Okay, this exercise here, our second weekly teaching feature of the night, is set up in the form of a 12-bar blues in the key of E. So like any 12-bar blues in the key of E, the most common thing is to do the E thing 4 times. That's the top line. Then switch to the A thing, the A section of the tune. Where are we here? Oh, I'm still tuned down. Anybody forget to tune their fat string back up? I sure did. Let us pause and retune. A shock to my system. Okay, fat string back to E. Okay, the A riff. 2 times. Back to the original E riff. Oh, do you notice the A riff ended with my pinky on 7? You see where I am? Line 2. My pinky is ending on that 7 on that string. That's exactly where my middle finger wants to be to begin the E riff. And that's a good thing because your focus, your eyes can be focused right there on that 7 on the A string. Your fingers go right where your eyes are. So if your eyes are, laser focused on that note, your middle finger will grab it so much easier than if your eyes were not on that note. So that's a good thing, that overlap. But I am going to ask that you jump up there with your middle finger. You may say, yeah, but my pinky is already on it. Can I just do it with my pinky? Nah, jump up with your middle finger, because we want to make it a habit that your middle finger, like it says at the top of the page under the title, begin every riff with the middle finger. It's worth it. It's worth it to jump up there. Okay. Line 3, just the B version, 7 on the E string. Back 2 frets to the A version, the A riff. And now I'm going to scroll up a little tiny bit here. The E riff at the bottom of the page. And then a nice little turnaround chord, a B power chord for the turnaround chord. Remember, turnaround sound is a signal that it's time for the whole thing to begin again. And there's probably infinite possibilities for how to communicate that. But no matter what, in the key of E, the turnaround sound has to somehow involve the note B or notes from a B chord, a B major chord, a B7 chord, B7 if you want to be bluesy. In this case, I chose a B power chord because it's kind of easy and it sounds fine. And I didn't want to make the turnaround a whole new challenge, Okay, so in a second, we're going to do this whole thing all the way through. I'm going to call out E, A, B. I'm going to call out that kind of stuff because, I don't know, I'm hoping it helps, but we're not going to go fast. At a minimum, I challenge you to get your middle finger, also known as swear finger, get your swear finger in the right place at the right time, even if nothing else goes right. Having your middle finger either on the note E, the note A, or the note B is huge. Just accomplishing that will set you up for success in the future. Okay, and again, that thing that looks like a percentage sign is a standard symbol that means repeat the previous measure. Almost everything happens at least twice, right? Every riff, except line 3. The B riff only happens once at that moment, and the A riff only happens once. Okay, so here it is, what I call the Lemony Pickett Blues warm-up. I know you guys are warmed up already, but let's do it. Okay, find that note. A string, 7th fret, happens to be the note E. 1 and 2, you know what to do. Here comes the A. Again, A. E. B. A. E riff. Power chord. Yeah, man. How to get the blood flowing. Any song scale exercise that uses all 4 fingers in a kind of predictable routine, it's a great way to get warmed up. Questions, comments, thoughts? You guys okay with that? Our second WTF weekly teaching feature, of the night. Free guitar lessons. Woo! Okay. And this also is available on my website. The only thing about the PDF section of my website is things are not in alphabetical order, or they are kind of in chronological order based on how we did them here in our live streams, but not exactly. So you may have to scroll. Those of you who are members of the website or about to become members of the website, you're going to have to scroll through the PDFs to find certain things. That's just how it is right now. I think at a certain point, I'll probably just alphabetize, put everything in alphabetical order, you know. There you go. The blues warm-up, I like to call Lemony Picket, because if I just called it a blues warm-up, it doesn't sound very interesting, not very memorable. Okay. You got good with that? There you go. Checking it off my list. Hey, if you're having a good time, tell a friend. Tell a friend about our Saturday night experience here. Why not, man? Especially if you know anybody who's they play guitar, but maybe they're getting back into it, or they feel like they need some new things to practice. You name it. Tell them about our live stream. Check. We have 2 more play along songs, so don't go anywhere. Hey, Randy, thank you for your super chat donation. I appreciate that too. You guys are very generous. I appreciate that. Okay, what I want to do is take 1 second and tell you about the play along songs coming up. And I think I have to grab my master list. Okay, talk amongst yourselves. I'll be back in a flash. Okay, here we go. Rubber boy. Oh, thumbs. The drama. Okay. The play along songs tonight are from live streams 32, 33, and 34. So for those of you who want to know what's coming up in 2 weeks, our next live stream will be Saturday, August 15th. That live stream will feature these play along songs. Ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom, ba-da-boom. Come on. Looking for 35, 36, and 37. Okay, I found 36. Number, okay. Can't You See by the Marshall Tucker Band from live stream 35. Angel from Montgomery from live stream 36. John Prine song, many of you know that from the great version from Bonnie Raitt. That'll be our second play along song in 2 weeks. And live stream 37, Gloria spells Van Morrison. Gloria will be our third play along song in 2 weeks. Links to those live streams will be in the description of this live stream when I timestamp it after our live stream. And so you can jump right to those. And don't forget, those live streams are timestamped. So you can go right to Angel from Montgomery, or right to Can't You See, or right to Gloria, and you know right where they are. You can start. You can brush up on them. You had 2 weeks to get good at those 3 songs, and I look forward to it already. Excellent. All right, so let's just do some more. Our second live stream play along song of the night from The Who, Baba O'Reilly, and I'm very excited about this. Here it comes on the screen. I'm going to close this down. I'm excited because I did a little deep dive here, and I have 2 ways to show you how to play this tune. Bada boom, bada bing. I think that's it, man. This fits on one page very nicely. Okay, here it comes. Boom, boom, boom. Excellent. We close this and close this. Okay. How does that look on your end? I'm going to make it a little bit smaller. Okay. Boom. That's it. Way back when, I taught you this using the key of F and the top chords way back when, live stream 33. And then I watched The Who actually do the song. And I said, wait a minute, Pete Townsend, this live version I was watching, he does it with a capo on. When you smash a guitar with a capo in the woods, does anybody hear it? Does it make a sound? I don't know. So I want to review both ways of playing it. The key of F using power chords or one finger major chords. That's lines 1 and lines 2, line 2. And the bottom way, which, hey, to be honest, that the bottom way is how Pete Townsend plays the tune. And I'm going to leave it up to you how you want to do it. I have to admit, it never occurred to me that Pete Townsend did it with a capo, and I'm glad I watched it. And I believe I have a link for you. Yes, I do. If you want to watch the video that I watched of The Who live in concert where Pete Townsend has the capo on the first fret and does it with those bottom chords, that link will be in the description of this live stream. Okay, so what do we got? Top line. Index finger with your thumb just opposite the one finger major chord. That 10, 10, 10, that's an F chord. Officially, it's an F with A as the low note, F/A, F with A in the bass. You'll hear people call it F over A. I put those names on there just in case the chord police come after me. But I'm going to call it F. 10, 5, 3. Now that basically is the whole song, right? Until you get to the quiet part where Keith Moon gets to relax. Don't cry, don't raise an eye. Just then I went 5, 10, 5. Now this is, I'm calling this free time. It's not exactly free time, but we're going to treat it like free time, meaning there's no crazy strumming. Just follow the words. Don't cry, don't raise an eye. That's why I put those lyrics right above. It's only teenage wasteland. Okay, you with me on that? It's just a really quick way to describe what's going on the guitar. No fancy strumming, just, you know. In fact, watching Pete Townsend do it live, he's not even playing guitar right there. So we're going to do it, but, you know, he doesn't. Okay, that's the first way to play it. No capo. Okay, second way, instead of major chords, power chords. Okay, that's line 2. Classic power chords. Index finger 8 on the A string, ring 10 on the D string, pinky 10 on the G string. That's an F power chord. Power chords are named after whatever your pointer finger is touching. It's a note F. So 8, 8, 6, 8 on the A string, 8 on the E string, 6 on the E string. Out here in the fields. Pretty straightforward. You're welcome to do it that way. If you do it that way, then you get to the what I'm calling the quiet part of the song. Don't cry, don't raise an eye. It's only teenage wasteland. Entirely with power chords. Okay. The third way, grab your capo, man. Let's do it the way the guy wrote it. Big old E chord. Pete Townsend's playing a Les Paul through like 19 high watt amplifiers. Sounds great. By the way, if anyone ever tells you using a capo is cheating, I don't know. Here's Pete Townsend using a capo. Why not, man? Why not? E, B, A. Now, the E chord, I imagine, is not going to be a sticking point for any of you. This B business, 4-4-4, I highly recommend just ring finger. on the second, third, and fourth. I should say all my pressure's on the second, third, and fourth strings. It's lightly touching the first skinny string, which is great because that means it's a dead sound. I don't have to be too careful with my pick to avoid hitting that skinny string, because if I do hit it, it's only going to sound like that. You do not have to use your ring finger. What I don't recommend is 3 separate fingers grabbing that. Takes too much time, not worth it. By the way, in a perfect world, your thumb would be right opposite your ring finger. Notice how you can't really see my thumb? In a way, that's good. If my thumb were up here where you could see it, it doesn't give me the same leverage. So a little technical advice, hide your thumb from your audience. Do you have to do that? No, you don't have to, but it's going to give you a good rate of success. It's only one strum on that humble B chord, and then you're down to A. Now, the A chord, we all know how to play A, right? Pete Townsend does the 1 finger A. I wrote it out as a legitimate, regular, conventional A chord, right? Pete Townsend does it with 1 finger, and almost certainly just ignoring the skinny string altogether, probably intentionally dampening it with the skin of his index finger. B, 2, 3, B, A, 2, 3, 4. B, 2, 3, B, A, 2. And of course, when I say 4th fret, it's 4th fret relative to the capo. So physically, it's the 5th fret of my guitar. You guys okay with that? But it's the 4th fret up from the capo. Believe me, if you did it wrong, your ear would tell you that's not how the song goes. Okay, and then we have the quiet part of the song. Don't cry, don't raise your eye. It's only teenage wasteland. Chris is asking, are all these songs I've taught before? Yeah. And if you're asking about these live stream play along songs, yeah, they're part of my teaching. Sometimes I do them with you guys first, and then I incorporate them into my in-person teaching, and sometimes vice versa. So this one, I've taught this one to my in-person students for a long time because it's so easy, right? Okay, so now we're going to start in 60 seconds or less. You need to make a decision. Do you want to do it with a capo or without? If you're doing it without, then focus on line 1 or 2. You got to choose whether you're going to do line 1 or 2. If you feel really brave, you could play both ways. You can play line 1 for part of the song and line 2 for part of the song. Great. In fact, I encourage some of you to do that if you feel up for it. If you play line 3 at the bottom, capo at the 1st fret. You're going to ask me, what am I going to do? I think I'm going to do no capo, and I'm going to bounce back and forth between lines 1 and 2. Yeah, why not? So how does the song go? The main riff is the entire song. For the first verse, I'm going to call it the first verse and second verse. First verse being, out here in the fields, I fight for my meals, I get my back into my living. And then let's call it the first verse. Second verse, I don't need to fight to prove I'm right. Okay, that's the second verse. After those 2 verses happen, that's where it goes to what I'm calling the quiet part. Don't cry, don't raise your eye. When that's over, it goes back to 2 more verses and Teenage Wasteland, and you're back to the F, C, B flat, or for those of you with a capo, the E, B, A. So there's only one moment in the song we do the quiet part. Other than that, same thing over and over again. Okay, you ready? I'll see you on the other side. 1, 2, not too fast. 2, 3, 4. Out here in the field, I fight for I get my back into my living. I don't need to fight to prove I'm right. I don't need to be forgiven. Yeah, 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 yeah. One more time. Here it comes. Ready? Don't cry. Don't raise your eye. It's only teenage wasteland. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sally, take my hand. Travel south, cross land, or put out the fire, and don't look past my shoulder. Exodus is here. Happy ones are near. Let's get together before we get much older. Teenage wasteland, only teenage wasteland. Teenage wasteland, only teenage wasteland. Last time. All right, how'd you do? Anybody bounce back and forth between lines 1 and lines 2? Anybody do some windmills in there? Nobody smash anything. Don't do it. Don't do it. Hey, there's an example of a song that it couldn't be more bare bones harmonically, right? On paper, it's 3 chords, you know? It's all what you do with them, right? But let that be not only an inspiration, but also a reminder to you songwriters out there that you're allowed to keep it simple. You know, you're allowed to. You might write some pretty complicated stuff, and that's great, but you're allowed to keep it simple. Hey, speaking of play along songs, on a sad note, many of you might have noted the passing of Glen Hansard. What a shame, man. I'm looking back at my live stream play along list because a few months ago, live streams number 129 and 130, we were taking apart and learning and playing his great song called Falling Slowly. Some of you maybe don't know that Glen Hansard, who wrote that song, passed away a couple days ago. What a shame, man. My wife and I, Mrs. Songbike, we rewatched a little bit of a movie he was in called The Commitments. You guys remember that great movie? The Irish band playing great soul music classics from 1991. Glen Hansard was the tall, skinny, red-headed guitar player with a big ponytail in the movie called The Commitments. What a shame. It's a beautiful song. It's the movie the song accompanied called Once. A great movie. It's easy for me to argue that the song made the movie. If it weren't for such a great song, you wouldn't have that movie. The movie wouldn't have been the great success. And it certainly wouldn't have gone on to be a Broadway show from that one song. I mean, that's my opinion, that Glen Hansard wrote such a great song that moved the whole thing not only into the world of being a, big global hit song, but a Broadway show. I can't imagine a legacy much greater than the value of your song turning into a Broadway production. Lots and lots of videos of Glen Hansard out there playing lots of music, and I encourage you guys to check him out. Kind of a sad note. Okay, stop sharing. Right, there we go. Yeah, Joseph, you're talking about the movie School of Rock and Jack Black's character. Yeah, fun to watch him do his thing. I've seen that movie so, not too many times, but a lot of times. Hey, don't forget to vote in our poll. Our poll question of the night. Can you confidently play any one of our previous play-along songs? And about, at the moment, 58% of you say, yep, you got it. 17% say, nope, you're not there yet. And 25% say just not your thing, you haven't tried. Although I want you to try. I encourage you to. Chris, yeah, you reminded me about the vacuum cleaner scene in that movie. I haven't seen that movie for a long time. The movie called Once. I remember what you're talking about in general, but it's a great movie. Don't get me wrong. It's just that from where I'm coming from, the song made the movie as opposed to vice versa, in my opinion. I know it's hard to measure stuff like that. The song White Christmas came from a movie that was not anywhere nearly as successful as the song became, right? Movie called Holiday Inn something, Bing Crosby. Why do I know this stuff? I don't know. Apparently I don't know it, but you know. All right. So we got a few minutes left. Hey, don't forget, no live stream next Saturday, but 2 weeks. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Okay, we have one more play-along song before the end of the night. Let me make sure. You know what I don't have set up, but I'm going to take a look right now. A little segment called Who's in Town? Well, who is in town this week? You know, I look for people doing original music. So I'm just going to show you what I'm seeing right now. Why not? Here in small town Connecticut, there is a great theater. And the formal name of the theater is the Katharine Hepburn Cultural Center, because Katharine Hepburn, her family, and later herself, lived and owned a house in Old Saybrook, Connecticut. And so Old Saybrook, Connecticut created a theater, and it's nicknamed the Kate, the Katharine Hepburn Cultural Arts Theater. And so when I tell you about who's in town, this is what I scroll through. And I tend to gloss over the tribute bands. And there's a lot of tribute bands. So tonight, Tom Petty tribute band. 2 shows tomorrow from an Eagles tribute band. 3 shows, including Monday night. I like to focus on people doing original music. So Grace Kelly, the other Grace Kelly, playing some saxophone Tuesday night. Very cool. We've got a Katharine Hepburn movie right there on Wednesday night. Okay, so here's someone I don't know anything about him. Fink. I'm curious with a name like that, man. I'm curious. That's who's in town. Remember, if they're coming through my town, possibly they're coming through your town. So I'm going to put some links in the description of this live stream to both Grace Kelly up there and Fink down there. Looks like some great classical music on Friday night. Anybody else? Anybody else? Okay. Another Katharine Hepburn. Is that a Katharine Hepburn movie, The Merry Widow? Oh, no, that's the Metropolitan Opera. There we go. Another tribute band, the Woodstock Experience, and James Hunter. Now, I've heard James Hunter puts on a great show. Sunday, August 9th, he's coming through my town. I hope he's coming through your town soon. I have not seen him live, but I've heard he puts on a great show. Okay, so I'm going to put some links in the description of this live stream. Links to Grace Kelly, Fink, and James Hunter. James Hunter tours a lot. I have a feeling that we've talked about him on previous live streams because he comes through town a lot. A lot of work, man, touring around, a lot of work. An interesting conversation is, how do musicians even make money nowadays? They don't make it from selling CDs and from radio airplay and stuff anymore, right? It's not how you do it. Touring. Hey, when you buy a T-shirt from the person coming through your town, that money helps, man. The $36 T-shirt, and you think to yourself, wait a minute, It's a $5 t-shirt with $2 of printing. The $36, it's not for the t-shirt, man. That's how you support the musician. We all know it's not a $50 t-shirt. You know, if they got a sticker, a bumper sticker, and the bumper sticker is $11, yeah, we all agree it's how you support the musician. You know, so those of you who go out and see live music, good on you. And those of you who go there and you buy the merch, it helps, man. It helps a lot. You don't have to be a social scientist to see how the music industry changes and continues to change over time. Okay, so I'm checking off a lot of things. Bada boom, bada boom, bada boom. I think it's time for our final play along song of the night. For those of you who are stuck around all this time, man, we're gonna have some fun. So I'm glad you are with us. It's time for the bluegrass classic "Salty Dog," full of a variety of lyrics, a lot of inappropriate lyrics. They're not funny at all. They're kind of funny. We're going to keep it, I think, G-rated, as G-rated as I know how to be. A lot of salty lyrics in Salty Dog. There we go. Okay. Some of you might remember Salty Dog from Livestream number 34. That was a long time ago. I'm going to stop talking for a minute and just play what you see on the screen. 4 chords, C, A7, D7, and G7. Here's what we're going to do, but I'm going to take it super slowly. I'm going to grab my C chord, bada boom, make sure you can see me, kind of, sort of. 1, 2, here I go. Okay, and then I just repeat it back to the beginning again. So what's going on here? We got the boom, chick, strum. Boom, chick, boom, chick, boom, chick. The boom is always a single fat string. The chick is always 4 or 3 treble strings. Don't overthink it. While I appreciate people's attention to detail, and if it says 4 strings, you strum 4 strings, that's good. Don't stop doing that. But don't let that attention to detail bog you down, slow you down, gum you up. Because as you pick up speed, you are less likely to hit a very specific amount of strings on that chick, which is good. And that chick sound is going to become less and less significant. It's almost going to become more of a percussive thing. Than a big musical statement. Okay, so bottom line is don't overthink how many strings you strum. Okay, measure 2, this is where the rubber meets the road. Those of you who have practiced bass note runs, if you're familiar with bass note runs, this is a great way to get from a C chord down to an A7 chord. So I highly recommend we all join together. Second measure, put your ring finger on the 3rd fret of the 5th string. That's where it would be for the C chord anyways. Play that note 2 times. Middle finger, same string at the 2nd fret. Index finger, same string at the 1st fret. Continue on to the open A string. Because really it's those 5 notes in a row. You want those to flow. Okay? Not a coincidence that we end on the open A string, because guess what? We're in the world of the A7 chord, you know? Take a look at this. Somebody asked me a question. We're here for your questions. By the way, we get asked some questions so much we're going to retire the questions. Here are the questions that we're no longer going to address on the show. Questions include, why do fools fall in love? Don't you need somebody to love? When will I be loved? Who do you love? Why must I be a teenager to love? And the eternal question, should I stay or should I go? Questions asked so often that we will no longer address those questions on this show. I digress. Okay. Moving on. Salty Dog questions. Lots and lots of versions of this in different keys, different lyrics. It's just a fun tune, you know, just a fun tune to play. Anybody have any questions about those seventh chords? Some of you may not play seventh chords very often. They're not hard. You just have to be ready for them, you know. Here's a bit of advice. Moving from C to A7, keep your middle finger in the same place. Your middle finger on the 4th string, 2nd fret. It's in the same place whether you're doing a C chord or an A7 chord. That's nice. That's the only time in this song where you get to retain a finger. But hey, every little bit counts. Okay, if you're ready to do our final play along song of the night, I am too. I have some of the lyrics. Those of you who know this tune, you may know lyrics even beyond the ones that we're about to do. How about if we take it slow but begin ramping up the speed a little bit as the song goes on? But how about if we start off boom, chick, nice and steady. See you on the other side. A 1, a 2, a 1, 2, 3, 4. Standing on the corner with the low down blues, great big hole in the bottom of my shoes. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Let me be your salted dog. I don't want to be your man at all. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Look here, gal, I know you, a run-down stocking and a worn-out shoe. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Down in the wildwood, sitting on a log, finger on the trigger and an eye on the hawk. Honey, let me be your salted dog. I pulled the trigger, the gun said go, shot fired over in Mexico. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Let me be your salted dog, or I won't be your man at all. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Standing on the corner with the low down blues, great big hole in the bottom of my shoes. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Let me be your salted dog, I won't be your man at all. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Look here, Sal, I know you, a run-down stocking in a worn-out shoe. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Down in the wildwood, sitting on a log, finger on the trigger and an eye on the hog. Honey, let me be your salted dog. Let me be your salted dog, I won't be your man at all. Honey, let me be your salted dog. All right, we sped up a little bit. You noticed. Yeah, Jonathan, yeah, we noticed, yeah. Okay, fun tune, right? Classic tune. That boom chick strum, man, something that you want to be comfortable with. It works, obviously, you can do it at a faster, but even at a slower speed, just it works, you know. If a song were pretty slow like that, instead of just a down strum on the chick, I would do a down up. Boom, chick up. Same mechanics. I just, on my way up from the chick, I just let the pick hit maybe 2 strings on the way up. And that would be called the boom chicka strum instead of the boom chick strum. Okay, pretty straightforward, right? Those of you who are brave enough to attempt that walk down, or those of you who are good and you're doing it already, that's excellent. What a great sound, right? There's nothing tricky about it. It's all about being ready for it. And going right into the strumming that A7 chord right after. It's a transition, right? Transitions are what kills all of us when we're performing something, right? We get into a groove, we know what we're doing, and all of a sudden there's some kind of transition, for just to use a big general term. And transitions mess us up, man. You know, you got to be ready for them. You got to practice them. If anything, you got to practice the transitional moments of any song. You got to practice those 10 times more than the regular part of the song, you know? Because sadly, you're not there yet until you can execute the transitions, whatever the transitions happen to be, you know? All right, you guys, Salty Dog. So again, every PDF we looked at tonight, if it's not already on my website, it will be uploaded soon to my website in the next hour or so. Before I say goodnight, just to remind you, what I do after I say goodnight is I timestamp tonight's live stream. It takes a little while, but hang in there. You know, I usually finish in about an hour, give or take. And then you can go back and jump directly to the exact thing that you want to review or whatever. And that goes for all the live streams. Okay, so not too late to vote in the poll. Poll question: of all the live streams we've done, all the play-along songs we've done, did you ever get good at one of them? I hope you did. Remember, I can't see how you vote. No shame, no guilt. And again, I recognize that some of you, that's not your thing. I get it. Believe me, I get it. Although it is good to have at least a handful of songs where you can strum and play through the tune, because number one, it's satisfying. Number two, it's something that you can bring to the party, so to speak. You can bring to the table. Someone strums and sings a song, someone else strums and sings a song, they look at you, and you know, even if it's not your number one goal on the guitar, it's good to have a couple songs like that you can contribute, you know, even if your thing is playing bluesy guitar behind your head, making up guitar solos. That's great. That's great. Keep doing that. But, you know, so don't forget to vote in the poll. No live stream next Saturday. I'll see you again on August 15th. What else? Am I forgetting anything? No, I think we're good. All right. So the poll results looks like unofficially 58% of you can confidently play one or more of our previous play-along songs. Excellent. 70%, nope. And 25% is just not your thing. Got it. Have not tried it. Got it. Message received. Okay. Hey, everybody. Thank you for being here. I'm going to say a few good nights before we close down. Randy, Joseph, CLS. Hey, thank you, Music Fan, for being our moderator tonight. I'll be home in a little while. Hi to my mom. If my mom is watching, she's often tuned into these live streams. Say a good night to, who else is around? Chaz, Randy, Ryan, thank you for your super chats, everybody. Kevin, thanks for joining us. John, currently watching from Minnesota. Thanks for being here. Matt, hope I'm not forgetting anybody. Thank you for being here, you guys. Let's do this all again in 2 weeks. It's possible that I'll be live streaming our gig this coming Saturday, August 8th. It will begin at the same time as this live stream, but go 1 hour later. I can't promise it, but I sure want to. I sure do. It's gonna be fun if I get my act together. All right, you guys, have a great week. Stay cool if it's hot where you are, which is probably the case. I hope you have lots of time to play the guitar, make the most of it, and I will see you guys in 2 weeks. All right, everybody, have a good night. Take care.